Godot is free, open source, and easy to use. But that doesn't mean it's for everyone. In fact, if you're trying to land a job in the game industry, build next-gen open world, or launch on consoles fast, Godot might be the wrong engine for you. Before wasting months of development, let me show you the real difference between Godot, Unity, and Unreal, and who shouldn't use Godot. There are times when I really miss some of the advanced visual features you get out of the box with engines like Unity and Unreal, like cutting-edge lighting, post-processing, and cinematic toolsets. Godot can achieve a lot, but it's more a hit or miss for those highly polished effects. So, if you absolutely need this signature, Unreal look right away. Unreal is the way to go. That said, if your goal is to ship on consoles, PlayStations, Xbox, Switch, you can absolutely do that with Godot. There are third parties, publishers, and porting services to guide you through Godot's deployment pipeline. But Unity and Unreal make it far easier. They are battle-tested, officially supported by Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo, and thousands of developers have already cleared the certification's hurdles. So their workflows are rocket solid. If you're aiming for a professional career in game development, whether as a gameplay programmer, technical artist, or environmental artist, you will find far more jobs openings listing Unity or Unreal experiences as requirements. Godot studios are on the rise, but they are still relatively rare, so Godot-specific rules are harder to come by. If you're chasing that studio job, you will want to align with what studios actually use. A rule of thumb, learn the industry standards first, Unity and Unreal, and then pick up Godot if you have time. That doesn't mean Godot isn't amazing. It just means your first punch card is Unity or Unreal. Once you know them both, you will find it trivial to jump into Godot later. On the technical side, unless your game's visual ambitious hints on Unreal's recent procedural content generation system or some bespoke rendering feature, Godot is plenty powerful, especially with versions for revamped renderer. However, when it comes to massive open worlds with dynamic lighting, particle systems, and high-fidelity assets, Unreal still had the edge in raw out-of-the-box performance. Conversely, Godot's lightweight nature gives you an advantage on lower-end hardware and mobile performance. If you want broad accessibility or targeting phones and tablets, Godot often outperforms the heavier engines. Learning curve and community are equally important. Godot's GD script, it's a breeze. Its Python-like syntax is intuitive for beginners, while Unity's C# is ubiquitous in the industry but requires understanding of static typing and familiarity with .NET. Unreal's dual approach, C++ and its blueprint visual scripting, gives you industrial strengths and accessibility. But mastering C++ can be daunting. In terms of tutorials, Unity still dominates. You will find thousands of free videos, paid courses, official documentation, and active Q&A communities. Unreal's learning resources have grown tremendously thanks to Epic's investments, and Godot's documentation and tutorials are improving rapidly, but they haven't quite reached the same volume yet. Licensing is where Godot really shines. It's MIT licensed, free to modify, and you never owe royalties or licensing fees, ever. Unity and Unreal both require revenue sharing after a threshold. For solo developers or small teams worried about costs, Godot's open source license removes that financial cloud, letting you focus purely on making your game. Project scale and team structure also influence your choice. Unity is ideal for small to medium-sized projects with generalist teams, while Unreal tends to excel in large-scale, visually complex games with specialized rules, level designers, technical artists, animation programmers, etc. Godot fits neatly for solo developers or tiny teams needing flexibility without the overhead of heavyweight tool chains. If you are a lone wolf or two-person team, Godot's simplicity and open source codebase let you move fast without wrestling with giant editors. Think of all three engines as hammers. You wouldn't insist on using a claw hammer for every job just because it's your favorite. You would pick the tool that fits the nail, the border, and the finish you want. Godot, Unity, and Unreal each have their strengths. Godot offers zero cost, high accessibility, nimble performance on lightweight hardware. Unity provides unparalleled cross-platform support, a massive learning ecosystem, and a turnkey console pipelines. Unreal delivers top-tier graphics power, cinematic toolsets, and best-in-class open-world performance. Finally, remember that the landscape evolves. Unity pricing controversies are pushing some developers toward alternatives. Epic continues to expand Unreal's reach and lower the barriers to entry, and Godot is rapidly gaining traction thanks to community contributions and growing studio adoption. 5 years from now, market shares may look very different, and you can't go wrong being fluent in all three. Start with the engine that best serves your immediate goals and career path. Learn its ins and outs, and then broaden your toolkit. At the end of the day, these are just tools. Choose the one that lets you build the game you envision most effectively. Watch this video to discover 10 best free Godot assets and plugins.